Welcome, this is an update to my Manjaro 16.08 use. I've been using it ever since it came out. I rolled up to it automatically because this is a rolling release. And this is my daily driver. I do most of my computing work on this computer. And the computer is really nothing much to write home about, as that just simply is a i5 duo-core CPU. It runs, I think I spent $20 for that graphical card. An NVIDIA graphical card. I've got 4 megs of RAM. I do have an SSD on it and one or two other hard drives. And I dual boot with Windows 10 out of it. Although I managed to go at least 3 weeks without going into Windows 10, and I'm a little afraid to go in there because I'm hesitant to see the updates and upgrades that Windows 10 is going to put me through. God, I hate that policy. Anyhow, I just wanted to say that I'm just so pleased with Manjaro. I've modified my front panel. I've not had a single crash. I have managed to crash a few programs doing some kind of crazy things. I know I crashed the Maps program. Actually, it's called Marble. And by looking at some developmental maps. So nothing to be worried about. It's stable. It plays games, although this isn't my primary games playing computer. I do play some older games on it for a little bit every now and then. But here you can see my favorites. You know, I have Pac-Man, the add and remove software. I've kind of gone to that away from Octopi since its latest release in the 1608 version is really nice and adds a lot of features. Audacity for recording, File Manager, Firefox. I'll talk about Firefox for a little bit. I've really started to really enjoy Vivaldi, and I've been looking at other browsers too. I looked at Brave, for example, Otter, which is an old opera style that's not really being updated enough to make it a worthy addition. But Vivaldi, it has Chrome extensions, it has the best of Opera, which isn't surprising since it's developed by some of the original Opera people. And I just really enjoy it. I have Kodi for streaming movies and things like that. My LibreOffice Writer, which I just continue to really enjoy. And I did do a fair amount of work with Calligra this month, and Calligra to me is just not intuitive. And I can get things done a lot faster and a lot easier in LibreOffice Writer, so I'm sticking with that. Simple screen recorder, Steam. Let's take a look at some of all my programs I've got. I do run an XFCE desktop. I have a Flash player in Audacity. We talked about that a couple of games. Now I have quite a few media players on here, and I'm going to stick with Deadbeat for a simple, easy player, and Clementine for a more sophisticated player. So I'm going to end up removing Rhythmbox and Banshee, which I also have on and been testing out. And I test out Amarok and a few of the others. So I'm just going to stick with 2 there. There's Brave, which I think is an interesting web browser, but it's got a ways to go before it's should be used day in, day out. A Blender, that's easy. BleachBit, which has been made famous by Hillary Clinton, of all people. So Catfish File Search, I use that quite a bit. Clip Grabs, I use to download and convert videos, which is a very nice feature. I like that program a lot. I have loaded Conky Manager on, but the XFCE panel add-ons, especially right here where it gives me a detailed list of what my computer is doing, really makes me not need to have a Conky running. So, and there's Dead Beef, really like that. The dictionary, that's pretty standard. DistroWatch, that's an ICE, a site-specific browser, and it gets access through Firefox. And ICE is a Arch Users Repository install, but it runs really well, and I really enjoy that program for being able to quickly go to a website. So now I have my firewall configuration. It's up and running. Gigolo to access my hard drive storage off the router. Finance is there. That's pretty basic. Google Chrome. I use Google Chrome really only to access Amazon Prime and YouTube. And for all my other browsing needs, I'm using Vivaldi for about 80% of the remaining amount and Firefox for the other 20%. GP Party, just a wonderful partition and disk manager. Really enjoy that. There's ice. KDE Connect. I'm really enjoying KDE Connect, connecting to my my cell phone. Very, very nice. KDE Marble. That's the program I crashed. And it's simply just a maps program. But it is kind of pretty. It is KDE based. So you can kind of see, you can scroll over here and choose what different maps you want. And some of them are very interesting. Oh, where are we? Go to North America. There we go. That's my neck of the woods. And it has a street map, satellite view, political map. I never even really looked at that before. Rain, temperature, and then Vector, the experimental version. That's what I crashed the program on. And that doesn't bother me at all, that it crashed on something that's experimental. So let's scroll down past Marble. And I have Color Paint. I use that a lot. I like the simple, basic, easy program. A LibreOffice, use that a lot. I don't use the mail reader there, but I use Thunderbird. And I'm curious to see, I bet you that ties straight into Thunderbird. I've never used that icon. Our settings manager. You can access which kernel you're running from there. User's Guide, Manjaro Welcome. They're both programs you should take a look at. Okay, I have no mouse pad on this. I do use two different notes programs, a basic quick easy notes tied to the system tray, and Zim Notes, which is kind of the Wikipedia for more in-depth notes. I am running NVIDIA. There's Octopi, which I used to use a lot until the 1608 came out. OpenShot, Opera. I've always liked Opera as a browser, but I'm finding Vivaldi surpasses it. Even though Opera has some nice, neat functions and some tie-ins with VPNs through its acquisition of SurfEasy. So it's always worth, I think, keeping a tab on what Opera's up to. Panel, Pigeon, I don't use instant messaging at all, other than through KDE Connect. Play on Linux. Get into some of the tools. I do a fair amount of bit torrenting, especially for distributions, and I use transmission. No problems there. Screenshots, I enjoy using screenshots. Steam. I've settled on the SUSE image writer for this machine for writing ISOs, and it works very well. Okay, and then we have Task Manager, Thunderbird, our Thunar File Manager, another game, UNet Booting, which I'm not using anymore in favor of the OpenSUSE image writer. Viewers Vivaldi, which I really, really enjoy, and I urge everybody to check that out. VLC, it's running 2.24, not the 3.0 latest version, although that is available in the Arch Users repository, I believe. And XFburn for burning CDs and things. I still do that occasionally. And Zim Desktop Wiki. And that rounds out my computer, 1608. It's flawless in performance. It's fast. It's up to date. I can even tweak it to be even more up to date by going into the Arch Users repository. It does everything I need to for my use out of a personal desktop computer. And it's been stable, which is about one of my biggest requirements, is I want the machine to turn on, run, get my tasks done, close out, finish, and not have to worry about crashes or validations or anything like that. So Manjaro 16.08, after a month of heavy usage, I'm still in love with it. Thanks for listening.